Hi everyone, I'm Caroline. Today my speech is about an analyzed paper, and I will talk Aimee Bender's Death Watch. Death Watch is a short story in Willful Creatures, which is written by Aimee Bender. First, I will introduce Aimee Bender. Aimee Bender is an American novelist and short story writer, known for her thorough stories and characters. Willful Creatures is a collection of 15 short stories with some fancy and interesting experience and characters. I chose one short story selected from Willful Creatures, which is named Death Watch. Death Watch is a short story which has a very interesting content. There are 10 men are told by doctors they have only 2 weeks left to live, and all of them have different results. Some are dead, and some are still alive happily and normally. Think about a question. If you are told by doctors you only have 2 weeks to live, what will you do? About the title, Death Watch. The traditional interpretation of watch is to look someone or something for a time, paying attention to what happens. However, the interpretation in the short story is different people have different attitude when they are facing death. After reading this short story, I have one thesis statement. Language is like a head weapon that can cause huge harm to people. But if you can stand up for yourself, you won't be hurt by it. For my thesis, I have 3 evidence to improve it. The first evidence is about 3 crime men. At the beginning of the story, there are 5 crime men included in the 10 men, who are told they have only 2 weeks left to live. On their way, they meet up with a field of cows. The cows are chewing quietly and calmly. It is supposed to be a comfortable thing, but the 5 crime men stand at the fence, crying and crying. However, when doctors back at the office and they check their notebook, they find that there is an error. Among these 5 crying men, there are only 2 men need to be crying, and the other 3 men are healthy. After the doctors kills the 3 healthy men, one becomes a new life. He goes to the countryside with his family. The other 2 healthy men go back to their own journal life. In my opinion, if the doctors do not find they make a mistake about the 3 healthy men, or they do not choose to tell this mistake to the 3 healthy men, they are more likely to continue crying and crying with the 2 men who need to be crying. And they are also more likely to continue believing they will be died in 2 weeks. The 2 women crying are died at last, and the 3 healthy men in Death Watch. What the doctors say is like they are put to death. In this case, we can realize that language is like a head weapon that can cause huge harm to people. In our daily life, there are many similar things like this. Some public figures often be questioned and abused by many people. Because of this, they will receive serious psychological damage. Some of them even appear depression and the idea of suicide. The language is a head weapon indeed, and many people get hurt because of it. And the third evidence is about one raging man. There are 3 raging men when they meet the cow. One raging man claps in the field and drums it with his feet like this. The others run and run. This raging man keeps drumming his feet on the field. At last, he's still alive and feels happy to drum, and his paintings have been saved by many people. 3 Death Watch. We know this raging man is not a mistake. This is a thing to think about. Why he is still alive after 6 months or even 3 years? Because this raging man finds what he wants to do and likes to do using his anger. He drums his feet on the field happily, and then he makes some angry paintings, which are received by many people. If this raging man do what the other raging men do, run and run, he will also be dead in 2 weeks. Language is like a head weapon that can cause huge harm to people, but if you can stand up for yourself, you won't be hurt by it. The last evidence is about Smell Man, who is the suicidal one. He goes to Greece and tries to have a relationship, and he hopes that there is someone by his bedside when he dies. The suicidal one have a good love story with a Greek woman, and at last, the Greek woman left her husband and goes to find the suicidal one, and the suicidal one did not die after 2 weeks, but he has a new life. In fact, he is another arrow, but he is impossible to contact for doctors because he has gone to Greece. Through this story about the suicidal one, we can also know language is like a head weapon that can cause huge harm to people. But if you can stand up for yourself, you won't be hurt by it. In conclusion, through reading Aimee Bender's short story, Death Watch, when facing the harmful language, our result depends on our attitude towards them. If we choose to yield to harmful language, then our result is the content of the language. However, if we choose to live for ourselves and live happily, the language won't hurt us. That's all. Thank you.